Mic check 128. Now, this is a story all about how my life got turned upside down, and I'd like to take 30 minutes. Just sit right there. I'll tell you how I became a producer of a track called Warpdrive. In North Spikeness, born and raised in the studio is where I spent most of my days. Okay, enough. Enjoy this video, and if you're listening on headphones, lower the volume a bit so you won't get scared when sounds appear out of nowhere. If you have questions, leave a message and I'll answer them as soon as possible.
Well, welcome everybody. This is Sied van Riel, and you're looking at the projects of Warpdrive, a track that I produced together with Radion6 and got released on our Mind through Armada. Now what you're looking at is the first project, so this is not the final track, but this was the first project that we started working on, so it sounds completely different than the end result. Let me put the white noise down. Not much change when it comes to the drive. It's just some bass lines and stuff that we left out and changed eventually. Here's a loop, heavily processed. Now the sidechain on this sound is triggered by the kick drum, so not by a volume shaper. It literally is the kick drum. That's why it started bouncing all of a sudden. Well, as you can hear, stuff changed along the way. Again, this is the first project. I didn't want to use that lead constantly, just use it at certain points in the track and later on at the end of the track. It just was too, it sounded too much like Rush, and I didn't want to do that again, basically. As you can see, there is some compression. It's mainly to control the peaks. That's a woe bass. minor things that changed along the way here. Kinda still sounds the same. Now this is the final project of Warpdrive as it got released. This is the pre-master actually. So this is the project in which we mixed it and before the mastering basically. So all that you see here is everything that's it. Here's the loop or another loop. Bit of processing, filters, volume shaper. We got the other loop I showed you before. We got the kick drums. We got a bass. We got the stabs that I showed you earlier. So instead of this becoming a main thing, it just became used every now and again. As you can see here in the group, there's effects, delays, reverbs, EQ, and a flanger. So what you hear now is dry. Then activate the group. Just to make it sound more spacious. These are all effects and one-shots, reversed pieces of the lead. You name it. They all work together though. They all create a certain atmosphere at certain points, especially at this point. Now here you can see edits from the main lead. Literally just copied it and processed it. There you can see that's the full lead, the full melody. It's minimal processing, just a lot of reverbs. Well, then we go to probably one of the most important parts in every track I do, the bass lines. Now, most important, what I always do is I make sure that when a kick hits, everything's gone. So instead of just using sidechain, I actually go into the audio file. As you can see here, I make sure it's gone when the kick hits. I do this with most of the sub mid basses. You can see here as well, it's gone. It takes a lot of time, but it's totally worth it. You know, and again, instead of using just sidechain. Now this one has a lot of white noise going on. I'll show you, because you hear that? It's just because I process it with a tape machine, Kramer tape from Waves, and PikeTech EQ that add that natural white noise that you used to have with analog gear as well. I just like that. It's a bit more gritty. And it just adds to everything, to the entire vibe. There you got your drive. Some effects. Well, this one is interesting. It's just the same channel, but doubled. Like if it sounds too small, double it. One at -9, the other at -15. The second one has a sample delay on it to make it a bit more wider. And gives it more body. Small details, but you know, totally worth it. All these things together work. Small edits. Then we have some synths that weren't in the first project. Lead from the Spire with distortion and reverb, just reverb in the high end. It's the 5K region, then another layer. It's just 3 layers that make it happen. That's the most important thing. All the sounds working together. Some synth fills. With a lot of reverb. This one is quite processed. Let me bypass everything. Let's delay that. And a doubler, like a chorus. It just gives it that extra thing. Distortion or overdrive. Compression. And then reverb. Now, sometimes you have sounds that make absolutely no sense when you hear them solo, but then when it's, you know, played with everything else, it sounds perfect. And this is one of those sounds. Not every sound has to sound awesome by itself. It just has to work with the rest. And yeah, check this one out. It's really weird, but it worked. Combine it with the rest and it makes sense. Kind of shit solo, but when you hear it with the rest, it's cool. Hey, we've got some more of those small synth fills. These three. It's again that those stabs, synth stabs that I showed you earlier. And just then we've got these sounds. Also from the stabs. It's two main sounds and this reverse one. It's just a little sine bell type of layer that that you might have never noticed, but now that you know it's in there, you will notice it. Small tweaks. Again, when everything's playing, it makes sense. Then we're slowly going into the breakdown. Oh, we got some drums here. Not much drums actually. That's basically it. As you can see, the small head has about 6 milliseconds pre-delay to make it groove a bit more. A few sounds that create atmosphere and a bit of a relaxation point before the melody kicks in. Well, the most important lead in this particular track, well, the most obvious one is this one. That the one on top, this one, is the most important one because it adds a lot of atmosphere to the entire melody line, and without it you're missing a lot. So again, it's all these sounds combined that make it work for us. Check it. I'll bypass it and you can hear the difference. Creates a lot of atmosphere, that little synth. And, you know, again, everything together works. Now we've got a dirty string that by itself sounds pretty useless, but again, it adds something. Well, that's a vocal sample from a V8C. These bells create a lot of atmosphere, and that's what I love in music. And that was pretty much it. There's not much to this project, as you can see. This bass almost didn't make the final. Almost didn't make it to the final, that woe bass. I had it everywhere, at the beginning of the track, in the middle, and then eventually there for a small piece of the track. And yeah, it just seemed to work at that point. Barely made it. And again, you know, there's not much strangeness going on. There's nothing on the master bus, as you can see. This is the pre-mastered, so this is the one that got mastered eventually. For compression, mainly used the SSL compressor. Most sounds, Tube Tech, for the reverbs, Valhalla and Lexicon. And that's pretty much it. We got some drums. I've already showed you those. Simple claps and toms and snares. That was pretty much it. No tricks, no craziness. Very simple project, but every sound matters, and that's what's most important. And the volume, you know, it's mainly volume control, automation, panning, individual processing here and there, and that's pretty much it. No craziness, just picking the right sounds and go for it. Hope you've enjoyed this production video. If you have questions, ask me below. And oh yeah, one thing. I've used the SSL compressor as a filter as well, but that's basic stuff. As you can see here, it's automated. Small stuff. Cut out some of the lows from the leads. That was it. A bit of automation here and there, not much. It really is controlling the sounds. So if you have questions, leave a comment below and I'll try to answer them.